All right, what's up, guys? Sorry, a little late. Actually, pretty freaking late. It's 9 minutes after the start time. Not great. Apologies for that one. Just got out of rehearsal. We had a late rehearsal tonight. We are playing the Jaws, basically like the movie Jaws is playing on a giant screen, and the orchestra's playing all the soundtrack stuff to a click track that goes along with the movie. So, in a perfect world, you don't really know that you're listening to an orchestra, but you can kind of see people playing, and you know, I'm sure it's not exactly like the movie, but it's pretty darn close. So anyways, we're doing Jaws this week, and we had a late rehearsal tonight. So that's where I was at. That's why we're starting at 10:15, and you know, that means we're starting at 10:24. So there you go. I had to wait on my normal taco place for DoorDash, like pre-stream. Because it was a later stream tonight, they were closed. I pulled my phone up, they were closing in 1 minute. I gave up, had to order from somewhere else, so that's why I'm late. At least that's what I'm gonna say. And no, Joe, it's not a euphemism. It's not a freaking euphemism. All right. Lido, come on. I know, dude. So here's the deal, guys. Tonight is what I like to call, you know, you can see it on the thumbnail, the whiskey, what did I say, whiskey marathon or tasting marathon? One of those two, right? Marathon tasting. Okay, marathon tasting. It's because, like, we're not really gonna, hopefully, fingers crossed, we're hopefully not gonna veer off the path tonight. We're gonna just kind of go one by one through all these whiskeys that you saw on the thumbnail. Some of them are not even on the thumbnail that we're gonna taste tonight because, like EH Taylor, there's two of them. There's two of them this year. So we'll talk about that and what little we know about that. And then, is there anything else missing? Oh, I forgot to put Little Book Infinite 2, which I don't think I've tasted so far on a stream. If I have, please let me know. I don't want to duplicate that. But maybe, did I taste it on the last stream? The 5-year channelversary? I don't think I did. I don't know. But if I did, let me know. But this one's not on there either. So everything on the table, we're going to go basically from low to high proof. I'm going to just give you first impressions of all these bottles. If anybody wants a little comparison action, I can do like one or two of those, but I can't get too crazy tonight. I don't want to feel like crap tomorrow. I want to be able to actually, like, hopefully film a video tomorrow. That would be great if possible, even though I've got a dress rehearsal and a concert. But I'm just trying to not go too hard on some of these live streams because it can really catch up to you. LOL. Yeah, exactly. It's all your fault, Austin. Film a video. I have got a couple in the can, man. I just got to edit those. Scott says, these are always fun shows. I watched the West Virginia Symphony Orchestra do that for Wizard of Oz, Harry Potter, Star Wars. Yeah, the Harry Potter shows and the Star Wars shows are a lot of fun to do that with. Rarebird, what's up, man? Any chance you'll do CNE first? No, unfortunately, man. Because I'm going to go up in proof order. So we have a little ways to get there. So if you want to catch the replay or something, I don't know if it's going to be that exciting. I mean, I can tell you offline what I think about it. I can't spoil it for anybody else. All right. And then, by the way, guys, we are going to do a little giveaway action tonight. It's nothing crazy. It's just a sample pack of all this stuff. Anybody that's waiting on a giveaway for me, from the 5-year channelversary stream, that was I think like 3 weeks ago. All that stuff is going to go out on Monday. So I apologize for the delay. I had a lot of packages to ship over the last couple of weeks. Like, the most packages I've ever tried to ship at once. It was pretty silly. So all that's going to go out Monday with this stuff. All the sample bottles are clean. They're in the kitchen on the counter so that it's so annoying and taking up all the counter space that I absolutely have to get it done tomorrow and get those poured. So there you go. You can see all the samples that are going to be in that sample pack on the table, but if you want to just see them in list order, there in the description of the video. So that's every $5 super chat gets you an entry. You know the way it works. But no bottles or anything like that tonight. Good to see everybody. I'm just scrolling up in the chat right now. Pink Dan Rally. Nah, man, get some sleep, dude. Check back in tomorrow. All right, I'm not gonna catch up on all that chat. If I missed something you said, just say it again and I'll get to you. I promise. All right, cheers. Let me know if you're sipping on anything. Good old Eagle Rare 12. Excited for the Advent pack. Surprised that not more tried. Okay, yeah, so by the way, First place winner for tonight's giveaway is actually going to get something really cool. It's not going to be tonight's sample pack. Actually, you know what? Let's do it this way. You're going to get tonight's sample pack, and you're going to get this other prize. So that we'll make it that. So there's still going to be 3 winners. The first place winner is going to get a free Drums and Drams advent calendar being put together by Dan H., who's one of like the most incredible Patreon members. He's putting together 2 different full advent calendars because we've done enough picks now. I think we've done 60 or something like that he has 2 ounces of each for these advent calendars. So the first place winner tonight will get that advent calendar for free, and then also the sample pack for tonight. And then everybody else for the advent calendar, you know, we talked in Patreon earlier in Discord, and I'll send an email to you guys after this stream tonight. All right. And if for some reason you don't want the advent calendar, just tell me and I'll send it to the next winner. All right, let's get on to it now. HubMatt06, thanks for the super chat, man. Says in for 2 entries. Cheers, everyone. HubMatt06 in for 2 says sipping on some 8-year, 10-month bakers. Honestly, dude, some of those older bakers, very, very good at the price point. I wish they did more with that line. Like if we could get like a 16, 17-year bakers at a little higher proof, because it's such a great mash bill. You get so much more fruit, I feel like, and so much less peanut out of that baker's mash. What is it 771310? Is that the baker's mash? It's stuck in my head for some reason. Dan, there he is, man. I can't see your name, Dan, but I'm imagining that's you saying pouring samples now. All right, so I'll get rolling on the PayPals and Venmos as usual as we get through the stream. We're gonna start here. I believe this is the lowest proof of the night. So let's start with the Four Roses 2025 limited edition. As you guys can see or not see, it's 109 proof, 54.5% ABV. Pretty typical batch size here, 16,854 bottles. And I should, just for this live stream, I should kind of have my ducks in a row a little bit. I'm going to look up the components of the 2025. All right, so I'm on the Four Roses website. It says it's aged 13 and 19 years. So we have 13-year V mash bills, or V yeast strains, excuse me. And then we have a 19-year OESV and a 19-year OBSK. So I love all the V's and I love OBSK. So these are great recipes for me. I feel like they do pretty well in these blends more often than not. So 13 and 19 years. Jab, you son of a bitch. The hoodie drawstrings. I made it worse. I went the other way. Just for you, Jeb. Here. It's a little closer. We'll get closer. Jeb, the more super chats you send, the closer I'll make the drawstrings. There you go. Let me get all these super chats in as we get going here. So let me know, guys, if you've tried this 2025. I have heard some serious mixed reviews on this 2025 LE, and I have a pretty strong opinion about it, and I'm going to see if that opinion has changed or if it's remained the same tonight. But the first time I tasted it, it was a pretty quick knee-jerk reaction. Jay, I got you in here, says whiskey cheers. Thank you, man. Good to see you. Got Calvin. I'm going to put in your screen name because that's what it's showing me. N for 4 says, cheers, sipping on NBC Burb. Which one are you sipping on? I'm excited for the collections pick. I'm really looking forward to that. Ripping some Outlaw, someone said. Nice. Oh, sipping some Outlaw. Not ripping would be a little different, I feel like, Joe. More enthusiastic. All right. So, again, my point of reference right now is a 95 proof 12-year Eagle Rare, which I think it's a great whiskey. Coming off that, I haven't had anything higher proof, so I feel like I'm not doing a disservice to this Four Roses. I'm coming up in proof, up in age. What I smell, well, number one, this is super mellow out of the glass, and I think you're never really going to get your face ripped off by these LEs, but this one smells particularly soft. Now, even with it being soft, the best way to say it is like it feels far away in the glass. Soft is maybe not the right word. It feels far away. Like I can't get anything out of it. But I still am getting a lot of like this peppery, like floral pepper note. I know it's Four Roses. I know that sounds typical. But in a lot of these LEs that they do, I think you get a lot more fruit and a lot more like dusty old oak. Like last year's, the palate didn't drink well, but the profile of last year's limited edition from Four Roses was awesome. I thought that like old school oak note that you never really get on roses was present there. This is like super soft, maybe a little bit of an apricot fruitiness, but it's like dried. It's like dried apricot, lots of pepper, a young lumber kind of note to this. Just menthol too. Like there's just a lot of youth here. So let me reset my nose. Like you go to the Eagle Rare, and the Eagle Rare is way more just jumping out of the glass. And it's 15 proof points lower, 14. So much sweeter, so much richer. The roses, very, very tight. Maybe a little tinge of a smokiness to this, like a char note. But that's it. There's no real fruit, no heavy fruit to speak of in here. No real like aged oak backbone. All right, on the palate. There's like one moment on the palate that I like this. It's probably like 2 seconds after you swallow the sip. Front of the palate, spicy. Even though it's soft, it's spicy. It sounds like an oxymoron, but it's not, I promise. There's a moment right after that where some sweetness comes in, some apricot comes in. It all kind of works together, but that moment lasts for like 2 or 3 seconds. And then it just kind of washes away into this thin, spicy, peppery thing. Lee, thank you for the super chat. If I miss any super chats, guys, please give me in all caps. Happy Thursday. Love the chance to win the advent calendar. Cheers, man. Yeah, I'm excited for the advent calendar for folks to get those. I think Dan's going to do a great job on it. He's using super high quality materials, too. He's using all the, not aged in or liquid ministry stuff, the liquid ministry samples. Dustin, I heard the collection pick is mid. I heard the same thing. Thanks for the super chat, man. Adam, are you there, Adam? Austin, thanks, man. In for 2. Throw the rest of that Eagle Rare 12 in my box when I win. Nah, I love this stuff. Even though I only drink it before streams, I love it. Terry, thank you for the super chat, man. In for 4 says, please add a gold wax maker sample to mine. I'll do that, Terry. We can do that. Good to see you, Sandeep. Only one of the recipes is 19 years. Only 10%. Oh, really? Is it only 10%? Makes sense then. 2024 better than 2025. I probably agree with that, even though I thought the palate was lackluster. It's just as lackluster here, but for maybe a little different reason, or with just a little different profile, I guess. The 2 LEs I got to try at the New Orleans Bourbon Fest with Brent Elliott were pretty amazing. I believe they were the 21 and the 24. 21 I liked. I liked 21 quite a bit. Early days. That was like my I'm trying to think about how this went. I think my mom won the Four Roses lottery, so we all drove down together. And that was like right when the channel had probably been around for about a year because it started in 2020. But it was still really early days, and I was so excited because I never won any of the Ohio lotteries. So to win that distillery lottery and go down, and my mom was all excited to get that bottle, you know. That was cool. Man, I just can't get into this whiskey. Like you can tell the whiskey, like you can tell it's a little older, and you can tell it's of a decent quality. Like I think I'd probably still like this over Small Batch Select, but I think it would be so unfortunately close between the two that to me, this is like $100 bottle. If I saw this on a shelf and I'm not thinking about flipping it or thinking about trading it or whatever, if I see this on a shelf at SRP, I'm legitimately walking by this bottle. It's that disappointing. I would rather give me 9 out of 10. You know, if you just handed me a single barrel, tier 1 to tier 6, that single barrel is probably going to be better than this. It might not have as much, like, you know, little nuance here and there, but all the nuance for this whiskey is so far in the background that you don't even realize it's there. Like, there's just, this blend just does not work. I just think the blending's been kind of lackluster, man. I don't know what's going on here. Oh, here's the breakdown. 38% OBS V13, 35 OES V13. So 73% of it, 13-year V recipe, 17% OBSK, and then 19. Yeah, listen, I think you got to get a little higher proof in here, and you got to get a little older whiskey to do something with this. Anybody else try this? I got pancake note on 25 LE. You're going to incept me right now into finding that note. I don't know. I don't know. Well, it's in the sample pack tonight. For better or worse, it's in the sample pack. Try for yourself. Hopefully it's a try before you buy for the folks that get that, you know. Tony, good to see you, man. We missed you at Evernorth. I wish I could have been there. Tony Bag of Donuts in for 2 says, are you buy or pass on 25 Russell's 13? I'm a humongous pass. Absolutely pass on the new batch of Russell's 13, in my opinion. Some people like that batch. To me, it's kind of flavorless in a lot of ways. It's just a lot of spice and not enough oak or anything else to support that. All right, let's keep going. Love how good memories are forged over whiskey trips and gatherings. Absolutely. It's the best part of the whole thing, man. I really think the relationships and the friendships in this community are the best part. Brian S., thank you. Your thoughts relative to the 2023 135th. Picked it up recently. You know what? A bunch of people sent me Four Roses samples probably a year ago. Maybe even more. Yeah, it was probably about a year ago. We were going to do this thing, Four Roses Science, and then I ended up not getting all the samples, and then me just being inconsistent with content and who I am as a person. I still have all those samples. I think I have the 2023 in there. At this point, it's probably better for me to just pull this sample out. So let me see if I can find it real quick. A lot of these are single barrels. God, they're so dusty. This is horrible. Mike Conklin, I still have some mystery samples from you in here. I totally didn't realize. Yeah, these are all single barrels. Oh, wow. I'm finding all sorts of fun things. All right, I've got all these sample boxes back here. Let me try to find this. These are from Devon. Man, I haven't seen some of these samples in a long time. I think this might be the one. Okay, I see some Four Roses. Let me see. The sample might be tainted at this point because it's been sitting in the bottle for so long, but let me see. OBSK. Man, I should have done all this. I feel bad. Oh, I actually have already taken a sip out of this one for some reason. All right, I'll taste it real quick. Please don't be tainted. Let me see. If it is, it's really subtle. It's nowhere near worth $250. Yeah, not even a chance, man. Brian, thank you for the super chat. Let me screw Old Forester birthday bourbon. Agreed on that. Especially this year. This year's Old Forester birthday bourbon is a travesty. Are you going to participate in Single Barrel Saturday this weekend? No. I couldn't make it. I have a rehearsal that morning. I'm playing a gala downtown, like drum set at this thing at COSI. I think we have a rhythm section sound check like in the morning. So I'm not going to be able to do it. I've never done single barrel Saturday, so I hope everybody ends up getting some good stuff. I've had at least 5 Four Roses picks this year that beat it. What does Tiny Drams think of Russell's 13? I don't know if she's tried the new batch. Not sure. All right, I'm going to keep scrolling down. 135th is superb. You know what? Let's put them side by side real quick here. No, Dan says, I 100% succumbed to the at the bar influence when I tried it. That's so easy to do, though, man. It's like, I try now to not pass too much judgment on whiskey until I'm basically sitting at this table. Whether it's on or off camera, it doesn't matter, but I've got to be in the house. God, I have so many blind samples sitting around. Put this towards your first trip to Lowe's at the new house as a homeowner. Yeah, we're moving in like 3 weeks, guys. Thanks, Joe. I got you for 5. Every trip to Lowe's as a new homeowner is $300, so it's not that big of a deal. Cheers. Oh God. Wow, the difference is crazy. So the 2025, which I have on your right. It's funny because now the pancake note, I wouldn't have gotten it before, but in this side-by-side, there is actually a maple syrup note on the 2025. But the fact that I couldn't find that at like whatsoever until I compared it to this, that's kind of interesting. But when you go to the 2023, it's just like rich fruit. See, that's what I want. These LEs, you need to elevate something about the Four Roses experience. And I think like this year's version, like downgrades things about the Four Roses experience. It puts it all into this just like watery, soupy mess. And you don't get anything out of it. The 2023, this is just jumping out, man. It's a lot sweeter. It's got a little more floral kind of character to it. But because you have all the fruit and you have all the sweet, especially this really rich cherry note, that floral note ends up just being an addition to the whole thing. It adds complexity. Oh. Yeah. Is it my favorite whiskey, the 2023 LE? No. I just don't think I love these LEs at this point. But it is so far and above this 2025. The 2025, I think I'm gonna make a video that's like, these LEs are terrible. And it's gonna be this, it's gonna be Old Fitz 11, Birthday Bourbon, what else? There's so many this year. There's so many terrible LEs this year that are not worth the money. Man, that's a good whiskey. That 2023 is something else. All right, let's move on. Where are we gonna go next with proof? We were at 109, we got 117, we get the 127, 6. Honestly, it might be it's gonna be the little book. I gotta make sure I didn't miss any super chats on screen. I'm gonna start working on the Venmo PayPals here as things kind of slow down a little bit on them, which is good. Good night. Good to see you, Sandeep. Year of the Buff Turkey Freakout. Russell's 13 batch 6. Rose. Yeah, the Russell's is included. I need to dive deeper into the Booker's Reserves tequila because I kind of liked it on first impression. And when I say I kind of liked it, I liked it for a Booker's. You know, I didn't. But also I felt like the tequila finish was done pretty well. But yeah, Birthday Bourbon VVS, 100%. Settle a debate. Westford Milestone 3 versus Stranahan. I have no opinion on any of that. I'm so studied or whatever, under sipped in the American Single Malt department. Do you have to be online to win the sample pack if your name is wrong? No, just if that happens, I'll put my email on screen at that point, which is always at the end of the stream. I'll put my email on screen. Just send me an email. You don't have to be here now. I'm not that mean, because sometimes we'll go for 3 hours, and then we don't do it till the very end. All right. So here's the thing about the Little Book Infinite. A lot of times, actually, I think pretty much every time with these Jim Beam LEs that come out, the bottles end up dropping and you don't get the press release for a few weeks. And this press release, I think, dropped on Monday of this week, which had the components listed. And up to that point, any of the components that were in this little book, Infinite 2, were all speculation. Little book, Infinite 2 blend. I don't think they give you specific... Oh man, that nose. I don't think they give you specific percentages, but they do give you ages. Let's see here. So it says approximately 30% of this blend was carried over from Infinite 1. My opinion on Infinite 1 was that the profile was awesome. It was really like aged and heavy kind of, you know, that Rick House funky oaken leather that you get from Old Beam. It had a lot of that, but I felt like the palate fell apart and it was really flat in the mid palate. So everything except the way it drank, I liked. So about 30% of that blend went into this. And then the remainder, this is bottled at 120.8. It's $200. The remainder of this is a 22-year-old Kentucky bourbon distilled by Booker, a 10-year bourbon distilled by Fred, and a 7-year bourbon made with extended fermentation distilled by Freddie. So there's 22-year in here. On the nose, I got the Venmos and stuff coming in. Thank you guys. I appreciate the support. All right. So on the nose, the peanut note is not shy for me on this. There's actually a teeny bit of grassiness on here, but it's so subtle and in the background that I don't really mind it. It reminds me of those 78, 13, 9 mash bills that a lot of NDPs get. They're getting 8-year and they're getting 10-year stuff. Most of them, I think. You see River Roots with this. You see Rare Character. I think they're PLTs. They got other stuff. The 8-year they've got now. And you're seeing a lot of NDPs buying this 8 and 10-year beam with the 78, 13, 9 mash. And a lot of those barrels, like the early barrels that came out last year, really grassy. Really nutty, but especially grassy. This has a little bit of that grassiness in there and a little bit of that nuttiness, but the grassiness isn't offensive because just underneath that, it's got a lot of tobacco. It's got a lot of like this layered tobacco, aged oak component, really kind of a really dark fruit note. It's not like some like real obvious cherry thing jumping out. It's like this syrupy darkness underneath all of it. I really like it, but it does have a lot of bright. It has a lot of like spice, baking spice, nuttiness, tinge of grassiness on top, but it also has a lot of dark. So it's got many, many layers to the whiskey. Let's see how it drinks. The palate fills out the middle. So I talked about the light and the dark. The palate has a lot of middle ground to it. Middle ground caramel. Yeah, and just like pie, just some sort of pie note to it because it's got that really rich, sweet baking spice. This doesn't have the bitter, dry Booker's baking spice or ECBPC 925. This has like that sweet brown sugar, sweet nutmeg baking spice profile to it. So you get more of the mid-range flavors on the palate, whereas on the nose, I feel like I get the two extremes. So there's a lot I like in this, and a little bit I don't like. But generally speaking, I think it's a really good bottle. To find out exactly where this stands for me, I would probably have to put it in some blinds, because $200 is a lot of money for this whiskey. Like when I just taste this right off the bat, yes, it's a very different profile than Lineage, which is distillery only, and it's a very different profile than Knob Creek 21, of course. But you can't help but to look at the price points and go, these are all pretty close. Is this worth it? I don't know. I'd have to put this in blinds, but knee-jerk reaction is like, if you're thinking of buying this bottle and it's not going to blow your monthly whiskey budget, buy this bottle. I think it's really good. If you want, it's not quite as aged as Infinite One. There's a little more life to this. Drinks way better though. So just know that you're not getting the most uber aged Jim Beam experience. You're not gonna taste a bunch of that 22-year bourbon that's in here. Doesn't feel like there's a lot of that 22-year bourbon in here, if I'm being honest. But last year's, well, Terry, the reason I enjoy this one more is because it drinks like a complete whiskey. Last year's just fell apart in the mid-palate. I just have a real problem. If you're blending a whiskey, there's no excuse for the blend to not drink well or for it to fall off a cliff. You have control of the blend. And some blends absolutely will go sideways, but that's your job, you know, is to not just nail the flavors, but it's also to nail the drinking experience. I haven't done Stagg 25B yet. I'm not going to compare it to 25A in this. Maybe I will. But I'm going to do a video of the 2 EH Taylors of this year and the 2 Staggs. So I'd rather not do it tonight. But I will taste 25B. Haven't gotten there yet. Pecan pie, maybe pecan pie, but I think pecan pie is usually more of like an Old Heaven Hill note for me, where it's even oakier, even richer and oakier. All right, coming back to the nose. Yeah, I mean, it's got a little creamy peanut butter thing to it. The nuttiness in here is not abrasive and too sharp. So, yeah, I like it. I also need... Ooh, that was a nice kind of just like butter creamy thing going on here. On that second sip. It gets sweeter as I sip it, which is cool, but the spice is still there, still holds your attention. It doesn't get too flat sip to sip. Good whiskey. I need to compare it to this year's Little Book, not the Infinite release, just the regular Little Book. Okay. Let's keep it moving. Need to make some space over here. Mike sent me this, Mike G in the Patreon sent me this cool, like, this is like a 3D printed thing that you can put samples in. It's pretty freaking cool. He sent me the Fault Line MGP single barrel from K&L. I'm not going to taste that tonight. I'm actually going to taste that. I'm going to just shoot like a quick little review video for it. Just that one sample. Oh, jeez. Dropping things. Okay, so let's get this out of the way. And now, you know what? We're actually going to go back slightly down in proof, but we're going to move to this Old Overholt. This might be the most exciting pour of the night. Like, no joke. Oh, yes. Oh, Eric, I've seen a Templeton 13-year rye too, and all I can find about it is a press release. I saw they were putting that out. It's funny because it's funny that they're putting that out because they offloaded like all the 14 years that you're seeing on the market. Well, I can't say all of them, but many, perhaps all of the 14-year ryes that you're seeing come from NDPs came from Templeton. That's who's holding on to those. So maybe they cherry pick some 13 years and then they turn 14. I don't know. I don't know the exact age of the 14s, how many months after 14 they are. But I just find it interesting that they're putting out a 13-year after they just offloaded a bunch of those 14-year barrels. And frankly, I'm not that crazy about the 14-year barrels that hit the market. Some of them were good. It was a pretty low hit rate out of those barrels for me. And just the price per barrel that ended up affecting the bottle cost and stuff, I just felt like, these just aren't my favorite. I really liked the 12 years that came out. And maybe it's because of where those barrels were stored. If they were, I think Templeton's, Iowa, maybe? So if they were in Iowa and they maybe weren't getting a bunch of heat or maybe it was higher humidity or something, so we didn't get that higher proof. All right, so I think we're... Oh, Oakley down, says Joe. Dude, good work, man. Just kill them. You know, it's like, I'm always so tempted to hang on to bottles like with this much in them. Just kill those bitches, you know? Sorry. I'm not near intoxicated enough to be doing that voice. You know? Aaron Trondle. Get a couple Venmos going here. Maybe I need to be more intoxicated. No, that's not true. Aaron Trondle in for 3 entries with a little taco emoji. Thanks, man. These are guys coming from my Drums and Drams Venmo. James Preston in for 2 says, Prez Tex, thank you. Adam Kuntz is in for 2. Appreciate it, Adam. Thank you, guys. I'm going to do like 3 more here just super fast, and then we're going to get into this old Overholt, which is, I'm excited for this one. Lido, in for 5, says, out of sync, drinking my Balcones Cataleja, but I was in the mood for a sherry bomb. That is a wild whiskey that you're drinking there, dude. That Balcones is not my favorite, as you can imagine. Jason Zell, holy crap, man. 25 entries, $125 super chat. Cheers to you, man. Let me just take a sip of this Overholt. Wow. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Jason. Let me do one more here. That's awesome. Jason, you did not need to do that. It's a chill night, man. It's a chill sample pack night. We're just tasting. I appreciate it. Lance, thank you. In for 4 says for SJ. Is that for one of these right here? All right. Let's get into this. Let's get into this Overholt. So I'm going to pull up the press release on this because there's one line in the press release. Well, I guess. Let me see. Like, okay, let's go to Forbes. Forbes obviously got a press release about it, did a little write-up. How about these pop-ups, dude? You can't go onto any websites anymore without incredible amounts of pop-ups. All right, let me read this. Just the most important things here. 2023 bottling clocked in at 10 years old. The 2024 clocked in at 11. 2025 now has a 12-year age statement. Originally distilled and barreled in the spring of 2013. The exact recipe is undisclosed, but the whiskey is believed to come from a low rye mash with around 51% rye content. So that's speculation. The barrels were aged. Okay, warehouses. And here's the most important line. This particular release features a range of proofs running from 53 to 65% ABV. The bottle that this person in this press release tried was 117 proof, which is what this is. I've only seen pictures so far online of people with the 117 proof. If anybody out there, because these things sit on shelves, these are shelf turds, and I thought the 10-year was great. I thought the 11 was And we're going to get into this right now. If anybody sees a 130 proof version of this, please email me. If you can get a couple of them and I'm not taking any whiskey off your plate, please email me. Because I have to try this stuff at 130 proof. All right. Joe, his wife said there's a new 1 in, 1 out bottle rule. I said you asked for it. Bought the 12 2 days ago. Bottle's already below half. Great bottle. Wonder how 120 would taste like. Sounds like we might be able to find out, man. Like, who's dropping the 14-year rye? NBC has some, but I don't know if that's from that same lot. But Rare Character, River Roots, News, all those guys have those 14 years. Man. All right. I actually, you know what? I'm going to pull back up this Little Book Infinite for a comparison. Because I think this is a $100 bottle and the Little Book is a $200 bottle. So let's see how these stack up. They're both Beam products. Beam has so many products. All right, so the old Overholt on the nose. It's like if you made a gingerbread house and then you just drenched it in caramel sauce. That's the way it smells. There's just a teeny little hint of a green rye note, like an herbal kind of rye. And then in a brown sugar bomb, like brown sugar out the butt. But it does have that little component from the 10-year from 2 years ago, that kind of little mulchiness, the little earthy mulchiness that the 10-year had. This has it way dialed down and like integrated into the profile. So primarily to me, it's again that like caramel drenched gingerbread note. Slight green rye. And then in the background of all, and then lots of brown sugar. And then in the background of all of that is like that little bit of that mulchy, earthy thing. Not grassy. It's like playground mulch. And I don't mean fresh mulch. I mean like playground mulch. You know. So it's not that like poopy, soily mulch thing. It's like after it's been on the playground for years and they never remulched it. All right. That's just delicious. Like one of my favorite bottles of the year. No, it's not gonna side by side against Oakley and beat it. No. But something that I want to reach for is this bottle. Outstanding. It's like after you smell it, you drink the whiskey and it's completely predictable from front to back. You know exactly what you're getting into, and that's what you want out of this, because the way it smells is so good, in my opinion, that from front to back you get that whole experience. The finish is, it doesn't fall off. It's not crazy long. It's just everything is in its right place. It's totally appropriate. It's a freaking fantastic blend. Then when I come back, after I've tasted it one time and I've kind of gotten used to that gingerbread and that just that heavy, rich caramel, you start to really get into this like raspberry thing. It's like a black cherry raspberry note. So it's not overly bright and overly sweet. It's just rich, man. I think the age helped it so much. I cannot wait to taste this at 130. But I'm also excited to taste it at 106 because, and maybe they're all different blends and maybe they just proofed it differently. Who knows? Well, they would have to be different blends because this is called cask strength. So it has to be different barrel pools. I think 106 could be a cool proof point for this because if you actually take some of the spice away and you get even more sweetness, I'm in. Sign me up for that. All right, D. Hansen is, let me get this super chat here real quick. Gosh, where's my tracker? There we go. D. Hansen 6718 is in for 4. Thank you. Appreciate it. Lito, I love the 10 year. I'll be picking up the 12, hoping that it matches my enjoyment. Lito, I think it's going to beat it, man. It's not as brash. Like the 10 was just balls to the wall for me. But that's kind of why I liked it. Andy, get you in here for 5. It says Home Depot greater than Lowe's. I don't have an opinion on this yet. I've yet to find out. Once I move, I'm sure I will develop an opinion. Slad says Mashup had a 14-year rye pick, Asian pear notes. That tracks with that profile. Make sure to make the title of the email Overholt 13137. That's just a tease, dude. Don't do that. Eric, I was prepared to pass on the 12. The 10 or 11 is on clearance. I think sometimes our palates don't align, but man, I would have a hard time thinking that you wouldn't like this. But you know, maybe it's a try before you buy. I'm also a little bit easy on bean products for some reason, I feel like. Except Booker's. I'm not real easy on Booker's. Let's no, you haven't missed it yet, Burt's Bees. We started late tonight. We started at 10:25. All right, so compared to the Little Book is significantly nuttier. But it has a lot of that tobacco in there. I think they both drink with a very similar level of intensity. And in fact, I think I prefer the way the rye drinks a little bit more. The bourbon has, of course, more sweetness and definitely more tobacco and more oak. But the rye just has more flavor to it, you know? There's just more going on there. Oh, it's just, buy this rye. I'm telling you, buy this rye. And if you don't like it, I'll buy it from you. Maybe. Maybe. I'm just shocked. Like, I didn't expect to like that this much. Because the 11 last year was a step back from the 10, I thought. And I liked the 10, and I was excited about it at the time. But man, I didn't think that this was going to be so remarkably better than that. Rye lovers rye. This is a bourbon. Again, overused phrase alert. It's a bourbon drinker's rye through and through. There's barely a hint of that green rye note. Everything else, you just think you're dealing with a high rye bourbon. All right. Cheers, Cam. Thank you. Gotta get the screen name here because for some reason YouTube only shows me the screen names. Appreciate it, man. Travis is gonna say he'll be on the lookout for the 12. I love the 10. 11's good. Yeah. Dude, the higher proof. I gotta try it. Brown says one NBC 14-year rye smells like a lemon meringue pie and tastes like tonic tree bark. Not my jam. Yeah, and I don't know. I think some of the NBC stuff is from a different rye lot. I've had some of those 14s. No, it was an 11. But I've had higher aged rye from NBC that tastes crazy. One of them tasted like lemon lime Gatorade. It was one the Sealbox picked. I think like last year, maybe 2 years ago or something. 2 different proofs on this year's Taylor barrel proof batch. Wonder what the story. I have both of them here. That's what we're gonna get into. All right, because we're on the rye path right now, let's go to the Woodford Rye. This is one that I feel like a bunch of people have tried this already. Seems to me like I've seen a lot of opinions on this. Maybe that's just in our Discord or some other Discords. But if you guys have seen this, especially if you've tried it, say something in the chat. So the proof, 125.1. I wanted to look up and see if they gave us anything about the age. It's a capsule review from Breaking Bourbon. Mash bill 53 rye, 33 corn, 14 malted barley. So $130. It's a 700 ml. Cheating us out of a little bit of whiskey here. Yeah, nothing about the age on this. So it's just it's at least 4 years old, I guess, and that's pretty much it. Okay, let's dive into this. Eric says, I have to catch the rest on replay. Hey, man, let me know if you get that. If you try the Overholt 12, love or hate. And if you hate it, I apologize for maybe semi-selling you on it. But if you do end up trying it, I would love to know what you think. So maybe on the next live stream or something, just say something about it. Woodford Rye, and thank you for the super chat. Sorry if I didn't say that. Woodford Rye was really good, but has a good amount of barley influence. But I like that. All right. Yeah, it's got that pot still note. It's got that slightly malty pot still thing. The EHT must be pre and post flood. Maybe, who knows? Terry, what was your take on M20 if you've had it, Cam? The Michter's 20 I had was with Durrell years ago, so 2019 I think that he bought, which is crazy that he bought a Michter's 20. I think it was a 2019. I thought it was really damn good. And I only had an ounce, and it's kind of hard to really sit with the whiskey when you have an ounce. We tasted it on a live stream. And he sent me that ounce. To be clear, I am not looking a gift horse in the mouth. But it's hard to form a really good impression of a whiskey over just 1 ounce and one tasting. To me, it was it tasted like Dusty George T. Stagg with a slight variation on Dusty George T. Stagg at a little lower proof. I think those are bottled at like 118 or something, maybe 114. I can't remember. It was great whiskey. It's nowhere. There's no way it's worth the secondary value. And I'll pay a lot of silly money for silly whiskeys. That's a head scratcher. It's just based on scarcity. It's great whiskey. You can find other stuff. Just go buy an 09 George T. Stagg and you're going to pay $1,300 less. But all that aside, if I found it at SRP, I'm buying the crap out of that bottle. Oh man, this is so different. This rye. So it has, okay. I'm just going to say a whole bunch of things, I guess. It's got a chocolate malt note. It's got like it has some farminess. Like, you guys remember Hidden Barn? It has like that, and really any craft whiskey that's dealing with heirloom grains, wild yeast, pot stills, any combination of those. This has that same kind of like you're literally standing in a barn, like that farmy note, but this just has it at a lesser concentration. So that's in there. But I can also smell the yeast, just like with a lot of Woodford products. You smell like, you know, bread. You're about to put it in the oven. You know, you're about to bake your bread, but you haven't gotten there yet. It's got that yeastiness. It has like there's a lot of lemon in here to me. There's like a lemon bar note. It's a sweet lemon. It's not too abrasive. And there's some, you know, it crawls up your nose a little bit. It's probably kind of young. But a lot of I feel like there's a lot of barrel impact on this whiskey. It's all over the place. Here's what people are going to like about it on the nose before I taste it. The concentration on the nose, as with all Woodford products, I think, at whatever proof you have a Woodford product, it smells like 10 proof points higher because there's just so much richness baked into the distillate. Maybe that's heat cycling or whatever. Certain char levels on the barrels, I don't know. I think people are going to smell this and be like, wow, that's got a lot going on. Yes, it does, you know. And the amount that you get out of the glass reminds me of a $130 whiskey. Do the notes remind me of a $130 whiskey? Not necessarily. It smells more like a $70 to $80 bottle of whiskey with the concentration of something that's a little more special than it actually is. All right, so onto the palate. I mean, it is a stinger. Wow. I'm coming off of the Overholt Rye. This is only 8 proof points higher, and it is like spicy as hell. Wow. So it does drink younger too because of that. However, it tastes pretty darn good. You have to be into a little craft whiskey taste, a little pot still note, a little chocolate malt. If you're into that and you want something that, like, imagine Blue Label Old Forester picks. You guys know how those things just taste like a fire-breathing, you know, cinnamon bomb. This is like the Woodford equivalent of that in rye form. It's just hot as shit, but it's fun whiskey to drink. All right, so second sip, you lose that spice because you get used to it. It tastes very crafty. That lemon and malted milk ball crafty combination. It's not my favorite. I think this definitely has an audience for some folks. It's a pass at the price. If this was $70 or $80, I'd be like, all right, this is a competitor for a certain type of drinker. At $130, I just think it's too expensive. And that's the story with all Woodford. Their pricing so odd for non-age stated really young whiskey. But I think that's just the way they're trying to position that brand as being some kind of, you know, premium option that doesn't actually have to do the things that premium whiskey should do to warrant the price tag that it is. You can just say it's premium and it becomes premium. That's the Woodford motto. All right, let's move on from that. Yeah, so it's a pass. If I had it blind, I don't know what I would think of it. I'd be like, what is going on here, you know? Barrel-proof, crafty-ass rye. I don't have an Old Forester barrel-strength rye. I got rid of mine. I'm just, you know, Brown-Forman, let's get those ages up, guys. On all the single-barrel stuff, let's get the ages up. Like, if Brown-Forman came to me and was like, let's do it, which would never happen. If they walked up to me and said, we want you to do an Old Forester pick, I mean, I would say yes, and then we probably wouldn't pick a barrel because it would probably be pretty bad because they put like 5-year whiskey in those barrel pick programs. It's crazy. But yeah, I think that one, I think the people that are going to like that Woodford Rye are going to love it, you know? And then other folks I think are going to strongly dislike it. It's going to be a little more divisive than some of the stuff I'm tasting tonight. I think like the 25 Four Roses, I don't think that should be divisive. I think we should all taste it. Most people are going to be like, what's going on here? But the Woodford will have a little more variance. And I think on the other side of it, crowd-pleasing wise, this is a crowd pleaser. I don't know that there's really an audience out there that could dislike this old Overholt rye. All right, keep it moving. I think it's time to get into some Buffalo Trace stuff. I think we're going to go to Tater Town. Yeah, I think we are. I think the proofs, I think we're there. So I got 1, 2, I got 3 clean glasses here. So it's going to be perfect. Let me grab like a couple more super chats, guys. By the way, we do have a little special treat tonight. We'll see if it's a special treat. But Mr. Sam Batch 4. So this is gonna be a fun one. Speaking of Buffalo Trace / Sazerac products, I tell you what, presentation wise, when I pulled this box out of the box that it came in, it was like, it's that moment of like, wow, this is well made. All right. So I think I left off on Amy. By the way, am I good on super chats in the live chat? Please let me know if I missed one. Amy in for 4 says cheers to you and Sarah. Thank you, Amy. It's good to see you in here tonight. I don't know if Amy's still here. Maybe it's getting a little late. I know the later streams people always have to drop off, but that's totally understandable. Ben Arrington in for 5 says good time Thursday night chat. Thank you, Ben. Appreciate it, man. Travis. The freaking goat Travis. In for 2 says, I know this will go to shipping, but more importantly, you need to get your shit box. What did you say? He says, I meant it any way you take it. You need to get your shit together? Is that what it means? I don't know what that means, Travis. I'll take it half good, half bad. All right, Aaron Trondle's in for a few more here, in for 3. Still waiting for the right moment to crack my knob 21, thinking it should wipe the floor with my 18 batch 2. Yeah, I think it will. I think your knob 21 is going to kill your 18 batch 2. Knob Creek 21, while I know it's a little softer whiskey, it's a special profile for something that's so mass produced. You don't get that every day. Daniel P, thank you, man. $50 super chat in for 10 says, cheers, dude. Last live stream in this house? I'll probably do one more. But we're close, man. We're close to being the last one in this house. Thanks, man. And then I'll get to the PayPals here in a second, but we're caught up on the Drums and Drams Venmo account. So let me get some water. I'm notoriously not drinking enough water. Okay. Get another one on deck, and let's get these things poured out. So let's go high to low on proof. Okay. These are right in the same range. Suspiciously so. Let's see how the comparison is. So what I'm pouring right now is Stagg Batch 25B. And you know what? I don't know what's going on with distribution with like these Stagg batches. Last year we saw 4 Stagg batches and like they bum rushed us at the end of the year. No one knew the 24D was coming out, I don't think. And then this year it took them to like a month ago. 25A came out and it's like, wow, we finally got a batch this year. 2 weeks later, 25B is starting to hit. It's like, what are we doing? So I don't know if there's going to be a 25C. I should email Buffalo Trace and ask, because I want to do a video blinding 25A, 25B, and then these 2 batches of EH Taylor barrel proof for the year. But I don't want to do that video and then have a 25C hit and be like, I got to do this again. rather know that we're all wrapped up. So yeah, we've got 25B. The proof on this, 126.9. And then we have this weird thing where people noticed that the new the new EH Taylor barrel proofs came out, and people were seeing two different proof points for these. And they're correct. There's a 127.2 and a 127.4. I saw a screenshot of an email to Buffalo Trace asking about it, and they said, yes, we did release two different batches. So the fact that they're saying it's two different, and I should probably check the exact verbiage of that. Let me find the DM here if I can find it. Jeez. I don't know if it was in a DM or if it was public in the, I think it might have been public in the Discord. How could I find that? Let me search EH Taylor. Give me just like 2 seconds. I don't know how I'm going to find this. I thought it was from Dark Overmind. All right, I'm going to give this like 15 more seconds to find this. Who sent that screenshot? No, I don't think it was. Well, let me see. No, I don't know who said it. All right, so anyways, I think in the email, though, I do think the verbiage was that it was two different batches. So we'll see if the batches are truly that different or if it's just like, you know, if it tastes like the same thing. I have no idea. But the proof points are, between all of these, it's half a proof point between them. So it's very close. And Stagg 25A is still within one proof point of all of these. So everything is very close. We're not seeing a lot of outlier proofs right now for EH, well, especially Stagg, which used to be higher. But I don't, let's see. What did Joe say? Oh, Joe found the message. Thank you, Joe. There, it was from the fair one. Thank you for your email. Yes, we have recently released two batches with slightly different proofs. That's what their consumer engagement associate said. To me, that means two different things. There we go. All right, thanks, guys. All right, so I'm going to do a quick, just down the line nosing. Okay. The EH Taylors crawl up your nose. Now they do have a little slight difference, but the EH Taylors are really, really close. And the Stagg is significantly different. Yeah. Okay. Quick reminder before I dive into this. My biggest complaint about Stagg 25A was that it had this honey sweetness to it, but it was like a youthful aspartame honey sweetness that reminds me of Ancient Age, but it was in Stagg 25A. No, it was not as bad as Ancient Age, but it had that same kind of like honey cardboard, overtly sweet but artificially sweet thing to it. And I just found it to be weird, and then I put it in whatever blind I did with the Staggs. I think that was on a live stream or something, and it was dead last by a long shot. So with that in mind, 25B, it has a little bit of the same effect, but not, at least to memory. God, I just gotta pour the damn thing. I just gotta pour it. Why sit and speculate about it when I could just pour the whiskey out and put them side by side? Let me get a glass. Okay. Come on. So from your left to right is not only ascending proof, but it's in order of Stagg 25A, 25B, And then EH Taylor, I don't know, the 0.2 and the 0.4. What's up, Matt Porter? You son of a bitch. Just kidding, you're not a son of a bitch. Bev is awesome. My brother from another mother. All right. Yeah, see, there's that note in the Stagg 25A. That weird, like, aspartame-y sweetness. I think some people are going to love it because it's just so damn sweet. But 25B is more my jam. There's more fruit here. There is a little bit of that artificial sweetener thing, but it's got a lot more like strawberry candy and cherry to it. And it actually has a little bit of that grapey backbone. So already on the nose, it's way more my jam. All right, 25B. Drinks well. Nice. Yeah, it's just like this front to back. It doesn't really ramp up too much, but it doesn't fall off. It's very consistent whiskey on the palate. I'd be curious how a second sip does, if it starts to fall off or if it maintains it. I almost get a little bit of that watermelon Jolly Rancher note that I found on, God, was that 24B? I think it was 24B. There's a teeny bit of that here. Oh, I like this batch. Is it as good as previous years, like the fabled batch 9, batch 12? I like batch 16. I thought 16 was good. Is it as good as those? I have no idea. So side by side, I could taste this in a blind with some of those others and be like, this is freaking terrible. I give myself full license to do that still. However, compared to 25A, no way. 25A is just crushable, weirdly sickly sweet stuff. 25B feels like a more serious whiskey to me. Yeah, man, I like this. I like this. If anybody out there somehow ends up having a choice of which one of these to get, to me the answer is 25B. If you want fruit, if you like a fruit-forward stag profile, if you just want insanely sweet, I don't know, whatever, that's 25A. And you don't care how it drinks. This is giving me Jason C vibes when you change your mind and grab stuff from the shelves. Well, listen, man, I learned a lot from Jason, watching his channel and stuff, palate development. So, yeah, it's funny. He does the same thing. And I just want to say real quick, last time I was live was the 5-year channelversary, which was 3 or 4 weeks ago, whenever that was. And I had said something about Jason and the whole thing. And you guys, many of you guys know what I'm talking about. And then Jason, the next week on his live stream, apologized and said some nice things. And so I just want to publicly acknowledge that. And I was there that night in the live chat when he said it. And I thanked him then, and I'll thank him again for saying that stuff. So I appreciate it, Jason, if you ever see this, but just wanted to put that out there because I think the last time I was live with you guys, not for the Patreon or for anything else, was, a little bit more sad or negative or whatever kind of vibe. So just wanted to put that out there. Okay, so now we're getting into unknown territory. What the heck was I doing? Oh, I have to pull up my Venmo because I think I got one more from Adam. Adam K wants to run it back here. Adam, I got you, man. In for 2 more. Run it back again, double or nothing. There we go. Okay. Oh, Amy. Have an unopened Staggy J Batch 12 and we'll throw a 1-ounce sample into the giveaway. All right, Amy, if you want to do it, let's do it. So just for the first, so I guess we'll do it that way then. Like the first place winner. How do you want to do it, Amy? You want to give it to the first place winner? They're going to get the advent calendar from Dan and then the sample pack from tonight. Do you want to throw it on them, or do you want to give like the second place person the additional? It's up to you. Better than 22A? I don't think so. But I don't know, because didn't like 23C surprise the crap out of me? So I don't know. I think with Stags I'm a little less set in stone as to what I like. I don't know. For some reason. I feel like I really get to know ECBP batches. I feel like I really get to know those year in and year out. And then Stag is always like, I just don't pay that much attention to them. I taste them, I talk about them, I try to put them in some sort of like blind or context, and then I just never taste them again. Stag, like, to be totally honest, Stag Junior is just like not my favorite profile. I think that mash bill needs more age, personally. I sound like a total whiskey snob saying that, but like, I just would rather drink George T. Stag, which I only have half a bottle of back there. It's not like I'm drowning in that stuff either. But if I'm gonna reach for whiskey, it just never ends up being Stag for some reason. Unless, I mean, when I used to have a batch 12, I did reach for that quite often. I really did enjoy batch 12. There we go. Thanks, Amy. So we'll give it to the second place winner. That's awesome. Thank you, Amy. Please remind me, by the way, if you don't mind, because I'll write it down, but I'm going to forget this stuff. Amy, second place, Stag 12 sample. Matt Porter, didn't you find an... sorry, guys, we're going to get to this tasting in a second, I promise. Matt, didn't you find the bottle that you found, the ECBP on the shelf, the old one, wasn't it a C917? The reason I'm thinking of that is because Amy, I'll never forget, Amy sent me a C917 sample back in like 2021, and it blew my mind. It had a lot of these like great tobacco notes I remember calling out. That's before this room was painted, I think. JK loves Sean, obviously. What did you say? All right. Donation to the Adam E. Prize Fund. Adam's not winning. Did he even super chat? I don't even think he super chatted. Which would be all the more funny if he ended up winning then. Can't have to see a duo last year with Kenny when you get in a new place. Oh, we totally got to do that. Come on. Oh, there's Adam. Do you need me to send you the macro to run the rigged raffle, or do you have it? I hate you. Adam E. In for 400. No, you're in for 4. Do not read out loud. Oh, no, I read it out loud. Well, you put it in the freaking super chat. Everyone's going to see it. Yeah, Matt got the C917. I love when Amy sent me that sample, man. I remember being like, "This is crazy." Okay, let's do this EH Taylor crap. Not crap. This madness of EH Taylor. So, this is the 127.2. I'm just going to call it 0.2 and 0.4 because it's the best way to remember it. They're different, and the air is really like. I mean, these things are opening up quite a bit right now. Okay. All right, so on the 0.2, I want to just check out the Stag. How do I describe this side by side? Let me taste them real quick. Let me taste them because they're already starting to run together because they're so close. It's like doing a barrel pick. It's like the same exact stuff with minor differences. Okay. Now to the 0.4. Yeah. It's odd. All right, so the 127.2, it's tighter. It's more, if I just say cinnamon, it's like not the right, it's not the exact right thing. I think the sweetness is like a funnel cake sweetness. It's like a funnel cake sweetness with like a cinnamon dusting on it. Is how I would talk about the 0.2. And it's very kind of constricted on the nose. Like it doesn't open up very easily. God, I'm gonna have to sit with these and even after this stream before I don't know, I need to spend more time with them. And then when I go to the 0.4, this is sweeter. This is like more, that's like more of like the Stagg 25A thing, that kind of sweetness, that like more honey sweet. And this is more like Stagg, the 0.2 is more like Stagg 25B, where you get maybe a little bit more fruit and more spice. But they're close. But I do think there are some differences here. And I'll be honest, like, I am not very familiar with EH Taylor barrel proof stuff. I've tasted a couple batches over the years. I tasted last year's, which I thought was so vanilla sweet. And I don't know. I like batch 9 probably the most out of the ones I've tried, which I felt like was a darker, fruitier profile. I tend to just go for that on barrel proof Buffalo Trace stuff. I'm going to taste in reverse order. So I'm going to go 0.4 first. Yeah, it's sweeter. I think it is. I think it's more like of that, again, like 25A. Honey, buttercream, vanilla, sweet. Not as much fruit backbone. Almost tastes like Canton barrels. Canton barrels can give you that kind of extra boost on a honey sweet type profile. Like there's more of that vibe. And this, yeah, I got to stand by this. I think the 0.2 is more up my alley. It is a little bit fruitier. There's more spice here. It's not as just sickly sweet. Yeah. So 2 different batches. I mean, between both of these, if you want sweet, 0.4, 25A. If you want fruit and spice and a little bit more, length to the palate, 25B, 127.2. That would be how I would delineate these. I'm going to be so curious to see how these do in blinds, especially the EHs, because they're incredibly related. The Staggs have a bit more of a gap between the two. But the thing that I'm confused by just across the board right now is I feel like please correct me, somebody, if I'm wrong about this. When I think back to me trying batch 9 EH Taylor barrel proof, I thought there was a ton of dark fruit on that. Is that not right? Because these 2 batches, by and large, even though one does have more fruit, they both don't feel like what I remember EH Taylor barrel proof being. And then I can say for certain that the Stagg batches have gotten younger tasting and more of that overt sweetness and less fruit than when if you look at like a 22A, batch 18, 16, 14, 12, those had so much more dark fruit. Am I crazy, or is there flavor drift going on here where we're getting more brighter, sweeter notes and less fruit? I don't know. Batch 9 had a heavy note of stewed red raspberries. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, Travis, this year's Charter Oak, I have that sample. Where is that sample? Maybe it's... I moved some things around here. I just had it the other day. I was just sipping on it. It might be in my living room. Oh, no, that's French oak. That's Old Charter French oak. No, it's probably in the living room. No, maybe it's right here, actually. Hang on. I've got some ryes. I've got some stuff from Brett. Octomore. No, it's not in this room right now. The Old Charter Finest Oak that just came out that's aged in Canton barrels. Pretty good. It's like drinking whipped cream. Here's the thing, though. I might just be misremembering and attributing something to older batches that actually doesn't exist. And it may just be a perception thing at the time. But this is kind of crazy. Like, Stagg 25A and the 0.4, I mean, those are really close on the nose. And then the middle two, Stagg 25B is it's almost got tannin, like fruit tannin that reminds me of Limestone Farms private stock, that kind of tannin from the, like a plummy tannin thing. But I think those are more up my alley, those middle two. I don't know. I'm going to keep an eye out for other people's reviews, especially people that get to try both of these EH Taylors, because I just would love to see what people think. If folks, you know, I suspect some folks are going to say, oh, it's the same thing at two different proofs. I'm sure that's going to be something that gets tossed around. But I do think they taste different enough to be like, yeah, these are identifiably different from their flavor profiles, and we should probably make recommendations. Like, we probably shouldn't just lump these together and call this batch 14 or whatever. Octomore, yeah. All this Stagg talk, and I'm gonna have to pour 24A. 24A is great. It's great. What's up, Mike? It's fun and easy to give you $5. Adam told me to look out for you, dude. Thanks, Mike. Cheers, man. I got you in for one. Good job, Mike, says Austin. There we go. Maybe all getting a little bit younger. They might be. I mean, who knows? What's the Venmo name? The Venmo is in the description of the video. Drums and Drams. Jeremy White. Oh, Jeremy, thanks, man. In for two. Says, happy Thursday, dude. Happy Thursday right back at you. I got a busy next 2 days. I'm stressing out about the amount of music I have to play in the next 2 days. So, it's a blessing. But, like, some of the drum set stuff, the show at this gala this weekend, it's like probably 20 charts or something like that, 15, 20 charts. You know, Earth, Wind, and Fire, Shaka Khan, Beyonce, who else? Luther, Vandross, who else is on that? Oh, we're doing Prince, just all sorts of stuff, and Stevie Wonder. So I gotta get my chops together for all that stuff. Mr. Vonkar, thank you. Vonkar. Got you in for two. Just cheers, Cam. Appreciate it, man. All right, let's get into. It's time. It's time for Camp Nelson E. And this is what's going to be great about doing this right now is like coming off of all the like EH and Stagg stuff and knowing that I'm not the biggest fan of them, you know? Like I feel like this should be a little bit of a softball for this to make me go, holy crap. Color. Great color. It's not like Russell's 15 color, but it's a noticeably dark. Like, hold it up against an EH Taylor barrel proof, and it's kind of funny, like the difference between them. So it is a pretty remarkable color difference. Stagg, same thing. So here we go. Camp Nelson E. 128 proof. Yeah. Yeah. That's more like it. We've hit a stride now on the nose. Ronald Vasquez, thank you for the super chat. I think I already said that though. I've got you down here. But then Cody Boatwright is in for 2 with a little turkey emoji. Thanks, Cody. Okay, so real quick, it makes these batches of Stagg just smell like 4-year whiskey. It really does. The EH, not so much. The EH batch that I like, the 0.2, that holds its own on the nose. Not as far as profile. I much prefer the Camp Nelson E, which we're going to talk about right now, I promise, in more detail. But the only one of the Staggs and EHs that even make me smell it and go, okay, I still want to have that now after I smelled the Camp Nelson, is the 0.2 EH batch. Okay, so now let's dive into this. My first impression on Camp Nelson E, when I first cracked this bottle and I poured it out, it was so constricted and tight on the nose. You couldn't get anything out of it. It felt very overly spicy. And then I took my first sip and I was like, holy mother of God, that's good. But the nose took a long time to kind of find itself. And I think what I'm noticing is that a lot of this higher proof turkey stuff, which we typically have never really seen, like Generations at that time was, I think, the highest turkey product that had come out. This is probably the highest Russell's product that's come out. And I think before this, maybe Camp Nelson B was the highest before this. I don't know. It's been in recent years, though, that we've seen that proof increase, that they've been willing to put out higher proof stuff. And I think what I've noticed is that all of that higher proof stuff, it either doesn't open up or it takes a lot of time to open up, is the best way to describe that. But the Russell's 15, while an amazing whiskey, not a perfect whiskey, but an amazing whiskey, the Russell's 15, I felt like that one was a little bit easier to get into on the nose because it was proofed down to a certain point. Okay. Brandon Smith, thanks, man. Got you in here for 4. I misspelled your name. Brandon, there we go. Man. The reason I keep smelling this right now is because the nose has gotten so much better. Maybe it's because I've warmed up to it tonight, going up in proof, that's kind of helping it too. I mean, how do you describe this? Here's the thing. It's like the cola note, like this has like this effervescent sort of some kind of cola profile. To me, it's somewhere between like real cream soda kind of notes, but there's also something a little dirtier and darker to it as well. So it's almost like RC Cola and cream soda had a baby. Whatever that would be. It's kind of like the note I'm getting. There's an immense amount of blackberry in here. It's all like, reminds me of MGP. Reminds me of 15 to 16 year MGP blackberry. Like you get on a Remus Gatsby. Now, because the proof is so much higher here, you don't get that like, you know, if you smell Remus Gatsby, it's got that certain kind of sweetness because it's a lower proof. This has less of that sweetness because the proof is dialed up. Man. Okay, so there's also this smoky component here. The smokiness reminds me of 2 products from recent years. Number 1, the very first batch non-chill filtered rare breed. If you guys ever tried that travel exclusive, that had like this great smoky note, great barrel char thing to it. And then the next time that appeared for me in the same way, Camp Nelson B. I do not like Camp Nelson B. But that smoky spice note, when taken out and put in here with the cola notes, with the blackberry notes, unreal. Little funk, little turkey funk, but it's not like that's not a prevalent or like main part of the profile. I think the main part is the fruit and the cola and the smoky spice. But you get just enough funk in the background. It's just, this is gonna, clip it, I don't care. It's a sticky whiskey on the palate. It's just like unctuous or something. It just hangs out. And it's crazy because it's so spicy and it's 128 proof. But it's also so thick and sticky too. Yeah, shouldn't have said it that way. But you know what I mean. You would expect a whiskey that's this spicy to not have as much body to it. And this has both aspects of what you want. Man, it's weird. I mean, it's just so different. And almost like 10% of the fruit note is medicinal, but it's just enough to make it interesting and not enough to take away from the experience at all. But it's like grape, blackberry medicinal, not like medicinal cherry, which I think is way more associated with Barton and with Turkey 17-year bottled and bond. Man. Oh, it's just, dude. It's so good. How am I going to drink Mr. Sam after this? And Tanyard Hill Rye. So good. That's a whiskey I just want to sit with all night. Top 5. Top 5 of the year. Depending on how it blinds, it could be top 10. It could fall. It could also be like number 2. It's very good. Ooh. What's up, Noah? Yeah, you joined at the right time, huh? All right, hang on. I got to catch up. Tom, thank you for the super chat, man. In for 4, says just for funsies. Also, when do I get my box? Everything's going out Monday. Everything from tonight and from the last live stream, it's all going out Monday, and then I don't owe anybody boxes. The last thing I have to do is draw for the Patreon giveaway. I cleaned today, because I always clean sample bottles before I send in them. I just hot water. I don't use soap or anything. I cleaned 130 sample bottles today. 70, 30, and 30. So 30 for tonight, 30 for Patreon. I got to draw for 3 names for that, and then 70 from the last one. So I'm going to pour all of that. It's crazy to think about how much whiskey is getting poured. I'm going to pour all of that tomorrow and Saturday, box it up Sunday, and ship it out Monday. Oh my God, coming back to the nose on this Camp Nelson E is amazing. Heyo. You have to give this bottle time when it's so worth the time. But when I first opened this up, I was worried about it. I thought it was like, I don't want to smell it. I just want to drink it because the nose is too spicy, too tight. Wasn't Russell's 13 Spring the highest proof? It might have been. That batch I've put out of my mind because I didn't like it that much. Picture me just handing you a $5 bill and then kind of scampering away. All right, Mike, we're going to get along, dude. I'm picturing it right now. All right, I pictured it. Chris, well, is it worth $300? Yeah, I mean, it is. Is it worth the $550 people are asking on secondary? Oh, man. Here's a good test for it. Here's what we're going to do. For the price point test, thinking about things on secondary, what I'm going to do is put it up against Mr. Sam because I got to taste that next. I'm also going to pull out George T. Stagg 2020 because I think George T. Stagg 2020 is a great batch. It's a really down-the-middle batch of George T. Stagg. It's 130.4 proof. I think, or 130.2, one of those, something like that. 0.4, 130.4. So a close proof point, and I think like that's 800 secondary. This is like 550 secondary. So I think it'll be a good secondary gauge of the bottle. And then we can talk SRP after we've tasted it and talked secondary, you know. Let me get some of this stuff out of the way. Get some of these stags out of here. Man, this room is a mess. I gave up on cleaning things up before the move. I was like, we'll just let the house explode. Excuse me. Better than 15? I don't know about that. I mean, that's just apples and oranges. Because the 15 is going to... It's like anything else that you compare to Russell's 15. You put it next to it, and you have to... Most things that you put next to it are going to be higher proof. So then you always have to go, well, do I care about proof or do I care about profile? And you always do that thing back and forth. I always end up going profile, so I always pick Russell's 15 over like a George T. Stagg or something, because I just like that profile of the Russells better. But drinking them side by side, which one's going to do more for you on the palate? You know, it's always going to probably go to that higher proof 9 times out of 10. It's just a disadvantage. So it's the same probably comparison here, and I could do that in a different video or different stream of like Beacon 15 CNE. You could also add in like Generations and CNF if you wanted to. I don't have those bottles, but that would be probably a good like 5-pour blind just to see how everything stacks up. You don't need to put in C and B. You don't need to put in C and C, single Ricks. You don't need to put in Russell's 13 batch 6. No way. So I think those 5 would be a good blind. How am I going to drink Mr. Sam after this first? No, totally. Listen, that's totally a first world problem thing. The Mr. Sam, I never planned on buying this. And I saw it pop up on secondary. And I'm like, you know, the new batch is like batch 1 goes for a lot of money on secondary. And batch 1 was really good. But I also really like batch 2. Then I saw this pop up and it was way like undervalued compared to the others. And I'm like, screw it. Let's just full send on this bottle. Let me get a couple more glasses here. So yeah, what you get from this Mr. Sam box, it's got this kind of like velvet, you know, kind of foam covered in like a felty, velvety kind of thing on the inside. You get the clasps on the side. The only complaint is like when you put this down, you have the clasps on the bottom that you have to like wiggle to get to sit on the table. I don't know what you do about that to fix it. So you got that. And then when you open the box, you get the bottle, and then you get the little booklet that it comes with, which says, From Little Acorns by Samuel Bronfman. Tribute from the Sazerac Company. I feel like reading to a class right now, you know? Drew Mayville, the Master Blender, like has some quotes in here. All these different stories about Seagrams and stuff. I haven't even read this, actually, but I need to read it. So there's a lot going on here, this little booklet. Again, same kind of velvety, foamy kind of interior. And then, of course, the bottle, which is, I love this bottle because I love the bottle shape, first and foremost, but then I love how understated it is. You just get the Mr. Sam thing kind of in the front, nothing on the side, nothing on the back. You get a side label, black and gold. That's it. It's just a blend of American and Canadian whiskey. Drew Mayville, the Master Blender, essentially just gets free reign to kind of go through whatever stocks he wants and to blend whatever he wants into this. These are always like really limited, it seems like numbers-wise. I think SRP's $250. Secondary, I think I paid like $1,200 for this. And batch 1 is a lot more than that. No age statement. No percentages, no real information. It's just so nondescript. I'm going to leave this off, actually. I'll leave the bottle sitting out. And the proof on this batch, batch 4, which was bottled on the 211th day of 2024. So this was bottled like over a year ago, actually. And for some reason, it's just not coming out. Don't know why that is. Proof on this is 131.08. So 3 proof points higher than the single Rick Camp Nelson E. So let's get into it. Let's put this here. Mr. Sam was like 800 to 1K. Nah, I think this was, I think I paid 12 or 11. It was something like that. It was like this was definitely 4 figures, like low 4 figures. Camp Nelson E's rumored 14-year-ish. I could see that. I could see that. Dude, the fucking nose on Camp Nelson E. I'm telling you, give this time in the glass, time in the bottle, you know, after you pop it open. Wow. I agree. I do wish we would get an age statement on the Camp Nelson, or the single Rick stuff. All right, so a little color comparison. Mr. Sam to Camp Nelson. These are basically identical colors. So that's a good sign. For the Mr. Sam to be this dark, it's a good sign. No, it's not quite the same backbone bottle, I don't think. No, I think it's a little less angular. Well, you know what? Let me grab it real quick. I've got one here. No, I think it's slight. I think the neck of the bottle on the backbone is slightly more elongated. Yeah, it's very close though. You're right. I think the Mr. Sam bottle, if this makes sense, is like a little more elegant. Like the corners are rounded just a little bit more on it. No, I haven't tried Tanyard yet, Matt. But we started late. We're at a normal live stream pace right now. Okay, so Mr. Sam on the nose. It's funny because, like, Mr. Sam, you can smell the Buffalo Trace identity to this. Like, when I smell it, I feel like I'm smelling... Let me grab the EH Taylor. This is the one that I like the most. Okay. Yeah. Like, I feel like I'm smelling Buffalo Trace honey. Like the standard 90 proof. Well, let me upgrade that. I feel like I'm smelling like Elmer T. Lee honey on Mr. Sam. But then I'm smelling this crazy depth behind it. So there is almost a youthful honey. It's not in a bad way though. It's like Mr. Sam just has a lot going on. So the top note that you get is still honey, even at this price point, even at this proof point, with probably really old whiskey in the blend. You smell really rich, dark honey. And then underneath it, there's a lot of like dark sugar notes, like torched sugar kind of notes. There's not, like, the fruit in here is very, very dry. There's not a lot of fresh fruit or even like dark, rich fruit. It's just dry fruit. I said this about Mr. Sam Batch 2, that I got a pecan pie note, like pecan pie filling. Maybe a little bit of that here. But that's why I want to compare this to the Stagg GTS 2020. Like, how does this compare? Because this has Canadian whiskey in it, and it could have rye, it could have all sorts of stuff. How would this compare to something that is just straight up 15-year Buffalo Trace bourbon? Let me taste it. I mean, it's a You know, Buffalo Trace never gets really oaky. I think as it ages, it just gets sweeter. Where you don't get that like Heaven Hill or Jim Beam or Wild Turkey oak funk after 15 to 20 years. With Buffalo Trace, you get to 15 to 20 years and you're just starting to hit the stride of that whiskey's sweetness, which is so crazy. This is kind of the same way. It's so incredibly rich and full-bodied and spicy on the palate, but it's not oaky. It's just pure flavor. I've got to pour out. Like, I really like it. When I think about what I paid for it, it makes me want to throw up. Not because it's bad, just because that's a number, you know, on secondary, and I know secondary is not real life, but it's a number that should be reserved for a certain kind of experience. Like if you're going to pay $1,000 for something you're going to drink and piss out, it's got to do a certain thing to your tongue, you know? And this is so good. But I think a more appropriate secondary price is half of that, you know? And I'm going to try to use it, even if it's kind of inappropriately priced on secondary, use it as a point of reference in this GTS as well to try to figure out what this Camp Nelson E is doing from a MSRP and or secondary perspective. So let's kind of dive into this GTS comparison. Now, GTS is dark, the 2020. Oh yeah, it's darker than Mr. Sam. And it's darker than Camp Nelson E just by a smidge. Yeah. Mr. Cam, that would be a funny pick. Joe says, totally has the brighter Buffalo Trace honey cherry. Yeah, it has the brighter notes, but there's something else about it that's maybe just relating to the spices that make it have more depth as opposed to oak. Dude, it's like I smell Mr. Sam and I go, that smells really good. And then I smell Camp Nelson E. I'm like, that's on a different level. All right, let me do now Mr. Sam on your right, GTS 2020 on your left. Tough. See, GTS doesn't have that honey. It doesn't have that brightness. 2020 GTS to me is, because I just think it's so quintessential. It's got that combination of like really dark cherry that's both a fresh fruit and also a dried fruit thing, whereas the Mr. Sam is very bright. All right, let me taste the 2020 GTS. Man. Oh, I love this batch. The leather in here. It's not oak, but it is leather. Okay. Now Mr. Sam. I don't know about this. I think Mr. Sam is a cool whiskey. I think the blending year to year, not knowing what's going on, the mystery of the whole thing. I think the idea is great. And I think actually the SRP is appropriate. I think $250 for this, I could totally see that. No higher for this. Because it is so experimental. It is spicier than the 2020 George T. Stagg, but it really lacks the depth that you're getting from it. It's weird. It's just such a strange whiskey. It's got to be the Canadian. I'm gonna blame it on them putting maybe some Canadian whiskey in here that it's so all over the place. Really fun. It's really fun whiskey. Am I mad that I paid this much money for it? Kinda, yes. But it was a stupid purchase on a whim, on secondary. But if you see this at SRP, you should buy it because it's really fun whiskey, and you'll probably never get another chance to buy it after the one that you see. But I still like the GTS 2020 better. So now let's go back to the Camp Nelson and put that next to the 2020 GTS. Dude, the freaking smokiness. The Camp Nelson E smokiness is doing things to my freaking nose. Oh my God. I can't get enough of that note. It's like dirty. It's dirty whiskey. I'm like giddy about the Camp Nelson E, man. Rarebird's gonna watch this back tomorrow. And finally he's gonna be like, Cam's not an idiot tonight, you know? Because I think he really liked the Camp Nelson E. And I've been hard on Turkey recently. Camp Nelson B, I was really hard on that one. And just like first tasting of Generations, I didn't like it that much. But this is great. All right. Anyways, I'll taste the Stagg. Stagg 2020. Underrated. Underrated. Who makes Mr. Oh, jeez. I got to stop doing that. Who makes Mr. Sam? It's a Sazerac product. Man, 2020 GTS. It's all fruit and all leather. It's not a long, spicy finish. It's just like a flavorful finish. And the Mr. Sam has so much spice. So it does have a longer finish, and it's so much sweeter. So, yeah. Wow. Higher octane, less depth. So, yeah, Sazerac makes Mr. Sam. Drew Mayville, the master blender, kind of gets free reign to do whatever he wants with whatever he wants. And he puts this together. It's just called whiskey because it could have bourbon, could have rye, could have Canadian whiskey, could have all sorts of stuff under the Sazerac umbrella. Tom calls the only good GTS in 5 years underrated. But what do you mean? I mean, it is underrated though. Like everybody wants like 2022 because it's higher proof. 138.7 or 23 was abysmal. I felt like 24 was fine. It was good. 21 didn't exist. 2020 is the last, in my opinion, the last like really solid batch. And 18 is awesome because you get dusty notes on top of this kind of profile. But it's just a little more understated. It's got Traveler blended. Yeah, Mr. Sam is like the BTAC version of Traveler. It actually kind of is. Camp Nelson E is on a different level on the nose. It's just... the fact that the proof is so high, we no longer need to make the excuse, oh, it's Turkey, it's a lower proof, so you can't compare it to GTS because blah, blah, blah. No. You can compare it now. Well, this year's GTS is 142 proof. I still think this is going to hold up a whole lot better. Oh my God. Is there a little more... There's a second wave on the Camp Nelson. Hang on. These two bottles, this is whiskey heaven right here. Going back and forth between these two, it's like, which one's better? This is whiskey heaven. I think the George T. Stagg lingers a little bit like longer with the flavors, but the Camp Nelson has more funk and more spice for sure. 2017 GTS, very good. I had a bottle of 2017. I liked it. I did not like it as much as 2020 or 2018. But yeah, 2017 was good. Camp Nelson E or Russell's 15. I don't want to do all these comparisons tonight. I just got to do the Tanyard Hill. We got to wrap this up. I really don't know, man. Because Russell's 15 is more of a one-trick pony. And Camp Nelson E is just doing things to my face. Every sip of Camp Nelson E is doing that. It's not getting old. It's not getting tired. Sip to sip, man. Like, I don't know. Excuse me. How am I doing on Super Chats here? I never went to PayPal. I got the Venmos, though, right? Stooters. Bro removes the foil off the corks. Yeah, cry about it, dude. Come on. I'm knocking over samples that I have on my floor. Why do I have sample bottles on my floor? What did I even come back here for? I don't even know. I got up out of my chair. Actually, I'm sitting on a... I don't even have a chair. I'm sitting on a drum throne. Why did I get up? Oh, Russell's 15. Yeah, because why not? Okay. Okay. May as well. I'm not going to do Beacon. I like Russell's 15 more than Beacon anyways. So this is a fine comparison. Get your life together, man. It's about as far from together as it could get. Thank you for the water reminder, Joe. Okay. I have a couple last Venmo super chats here. Look at the color in that Russell's 15, crazy. Camp Nelson E secondary, currently probably 550. All right, Andrew Parrott is in for 3. It says, please rank CNE, Beacon, and Russell's 15 from memory. Beacon last, and we're gonna find out right now Camp Nelson E and Russell's 15. And also, like blinding Camp Nelson E and Russell's 15 would do me no good, because if I know those are the two in the blind, I feel like I would know which one's which immediately. And the only way that I wouldn't know which one's which is if I put it in a blind with like Generations and Camp Nelson F and Beacon. Then I might get like mixed up and not know. And I wouldn't even want to be guessing at that point, but it would be hard not to for some of those. But yeah, in a side-by-side blind, it would just be too obvious. So yeah, definitely Beacon last, and then we're going to find out right now Russell's 15 to Camp Nelson E. Aaron L., thank you for the super chat. Okay, we got it. And in for 4, says 4 entries. Thank you, Aaron. 2 more. Guy with a really big super chat. Thank you, Guy. In for 20, thank you. He says, cheers, man. Cheers right back at you, Guy. Jeez, dude. Appreciate you. Let me grab these last 2, and we're going to shut the giveaway off like earlier tonight. You know, a couple might sneak in, but I want to shut it down early. So if you do want to get anything else in, guys, please, you know, you've been very supportive tonight already, but at 12:25 Eastern, which is in like less than 3 minutes, we'll go ahead and, you know, take the banner down. I'll take it down right now, actually. But just get those last ones in if anybody is getting any more in. But I appreciate you being here for your support. These were just supposed to be a couple little sample packs for the evening and the advent calendar as well. So, Guy, thank you for that super chat, man. Ryan, please don't use my name. Please use RJ. Okay. Someone else said something about RJ. Did they not? Did someone else say something about RJ on a super chat? If so, please speak up. Maybe I had this wrong. But RJ, I got you, man. In for 2. And then Lawrence is going to be in for 4. Thanks, Lawrence. Says drink water, Uncle Cam. I've been trying, man. I got two bottles of water down tonight. All right. I got a third backup right here. Camp Nelson is about 520. Drinking water rocks. There's another $5, Mike. I just envisioned you giving me that $5 and running away. Satch meter. Honestly, I'm not like 40% Satch. And I'm being like totally honest about that. I didn't even eat that much today, but I think tonight I've been careful. I've had small sips. In the beginning, I did a few side-by-sides where I kept sipping back and forth, but I feel like tonight's been pretty good. So, I don't know. Yeah, I would say 40% Satch meter. Joe said 1/3 is my guess. Yeah. Hey, listen, if Joe said 1/3, that means we're in pretty good shape tonight. So hopefully I can wake up tomorrow before it gets into the double digits. Pre-10 a.m., solid. I don't have to be anywhere till 1 tomorrow. Cam, I hate your palate. I have all the bottles you think suck. What do I think? Which bottles did I say that you have? Thank you, Terry. Terry, okay. Gotcha. What's your favorite pasta? No, I asked you a question. I asked you a question about the bottles you're talking about. And I don't know my favorite pasta. Cavatappi? Maybe just shells, honestly. Shells and cheese, dude. Come on. I don't know. Okay. Let's go to Russell's 15 real quick. Guys, we're shutting the super chats down. We're shutting them down. No more super chats. Fucking A, Russell's 15 smells good. All right, up against Camp Nelson E. I hate my life. You have to give the nose to Russell's 15. You just have to. Camp Nelson E, if anything, I mean this, if anything is going to come close to that Russell's 15 profile, while also not really being close to it, if you compare 1-to-1, like Camp Nelson E doesn't smell like Russell's 15. There's an element of it in the background, but by and large, it doesn't really smell the same. But if anything's going to come close to just having a fucking amazing nose, it's Camp Nelson E. It really is. All right, so Russell's 15 real quick up against GTS 2020. That's pretty close too, actually, because the red fruit in the GTS compares very favorably to the Russell's 15. But the Russell's 15 has that dusty quality. So I still take Russell's 15 over both of those on the nose. Now, I'll taste Russell's 15 on the palate. God, that's so good. Okay. Okay. On to CNE. Fettuccine. Fettuccine Alfredo. I guess. I mean, it's good. It's a classic. It's good. I don't know. I don't even have a favorite pasta. I don't know. Jason C would be disappointed. I'm sure he would. I'm sure most of you are disappointed in the pasta answer. I don't have a good answer on the pasta. Dude, mac and cheese with dino chicken nugs. Let's go. Come on. Mac and cheese is an all-time favorite food. If I eat it nowadays, I will completely shit my pants. Like within 10 minutes, I'm on the toilet. But mac and cheese, listen, I ordered it from this place the other night. I'm trying to think of where it was. Dude, I ordered like a side of mac and cheese on DoorDash. And I was like, Sarah, I think this is going to be good mac and cheese. And it showed up and it was just Velveeta. I think it was from like a bar. Because Sarah's like having some food cravings recently, right? And so she's like, you got to get me a loaded baked potato. I'm like, I'll get you a loaded baked potato. And then the place that had it was like a bar. Because we're looking around, trying to find one that's close. So I get her this loaded baked potato and this Caesar salad. Or some kind of wedge salad. And then they had this mac and cheese. I'm like, I'm going to order this side of mac and cheese. And it's coming from a bar that I feel like is just going to do this good. And then it shows up and it's just fucking Velveeta. Velveeta, the plasticky cheese that I love growing up. Nothing like that stuff. Probably microplastics for days. I don't even care, man. Give me the Velveeta. Honestly, last meal, I want a slice of Meat Lover's Pizza, a bowl of Velveeta mac and cheese, a particular kind of sushi roll from a place in town. And that's pretty much it. I'm pretty good after that, you know? I think that's the last meal. Velveeta is the secret to my mac and cheese. Dude, come on. Velveeta is... I don't even know what to say about it. It does things to my loins. Classic spaghetti and meatballs? No. No, come on. No. Spaghetti and meatballs is like a backup option. That's not a primary food. That's like, I don't know what to eat. I'm going to have spaghetti and meatballs. Get specific on the roll, says Joe. Listen, the Mr. Miyagi roll from South Village Grill. It just does things to me, you know? I love it. Baked ziti or lasagna. All right, I'll give you some lasagna, dude. Linguine absolutely beats spaghetti. Absolutely. Seafood sushi glory. That's a different live stream, bro. Oh, the pork chop from South Village Grill. Oh, I get that pork chop once every 2 weeks. That's a great, whatever like puree stuff they put on that pork chop. Next level. Next level. Well, Joe, Johnny's Sushi is next door and it's connected, and so you can order both at the same time. Dude, the pork chop. Oh my God. Okay, by the way, Joe and MJ83, who I'm sorry, I only see your screen name. I don't know who this actually is I'm talking to. The crab cake at South Village Grill. I know we're talking Columbus stuff now. The crab cake at South Village Grill, insane. Get the crab cake. It's like an appetizer with the succotash under it or whatever the fuck that even means. I don't even know, but come on. Mike is getting fancy. Mike, will you cook this for me, man? Lobster ravioli, quail eggs wrapped in bacon. Please cook this for me. Okay, back to the whiskey. Russell's 15. Amazing. I still have one more to taste. Tanyard Hill. Saturation is increasing. 50%. 53% right now. Daniel, come on, dude. Let's do it. I was going to say next time. If you're ever in Columbus, let me know, man. We'll make the rounds. I mean, we got to get Rubino's Pizza. Rubino's Pizza here is my favorite pizza. And then Ocean Club. I know Ocean Club and Ocean Prime have a few locations across the country. It's so good, though. As far as high-end food in Columbus goes, Ocean Club, it's like old reliable. You're going to go in, 2 people, you're going to spend $350, but you know you're going to get quality the entire way. Whereas you can go to like some like niche places in town like Agni, this new Indian joint. You can spend $750, which somehow Sarah and I did. I looked at the check and I wanted to like cry. Like, how did we spend this much money? And it was not good. Like, actually worth like $125 for the whole meal, in my opinion. But like Ocean Club is like the old standby in town. But there's a couple other spots, man, you got to hit. And South Village has really good food, this place. Dude, $7.50. I thought I was like, I'm like, is something wrong with me? How did I spend $750 tonight? Crazy. Cam hates mac and cheese. Don't you say that. Camp Nelson E-Man. It's a more complete whiskey than Russell's 15. But the profile of Russell's 15 is something to be commended, you know, by probably putting it ahead of Camp Nelson E. I don't know. It's like a tie for me. It's such a cop-out, but I don't know which one to pick. It truly is apples and oranges on that. And Beacon is in a easy third place compared to those. Dude, Frankie, I want to come to New Haven so bad. I've only been there once. I auditioned at Yale once upon a time. Once upon a time. Did not get in. I got cut from Yale and Juilliard on my grad school audition tour. But I got into Eastman, which was the right place for me. But Yale was very intimidating. Juilliard was very intimidating too. I bombed the shit out of my sight reading at Juilliard. It was like so abysmally bad. I'm like, I'm just going to leave now. Sometimes you want to be like, so how'd I do? This one was like, please let me leave. I want to go home. Yale was not that bad, but there were a couple funny little quirks in that audition. But anyways, New Haven, every time I see New Haven pizza, I'm like, I want to try this pizza. So I would love to come up there and taste some stuff. Oh, dude, look at this. Cavatappi mac and cheese, smoked Gouda, smoked Gruyere, aged cheddar, American cream cheese. I'm in. If it's between that or Outback Steakhouse mac and cheese, I'm going to go with this one. Jesus. I can't put that on the screen. Did you apply to the IU Jacob School? No, I didn't apply to IU. I kind of had my mind set on a few schools. Sounds like Velveeta. Exactly. Dude, that's what I'm saying. $7.50 for two people. It was the craziest thing ever. And I did a wine pairing. Sarah did not do one. And I did there was three options. I did the mid option for wine pairing, prefix for both of us. And then there was we upgraded one of the courses. Omakase places will do that. And then the check comes out and it's $7.50. I'm like, how the hell did we get to $7.50? I don't know, man. It was... I don't know. I was like, Sarah, I'm broke. Okay. Omakase is the GOAT special occasion dinner. 100%. 100%. Otoko in Austin, Texas blew my mind. We had a great time there. Okay. What's the last thing? Tanyard Hill. Tanyard Hill Rye. Let's do Tanyard Hill. This has been a fun live stream. Really fun. Great turnout. There's been 160 people, up to almost 200 tonight. Everybody's been... This was a clean glass, right? Yeah. Did I not just get this? I felt like I saw something in the glass, though. Very supportive night. Amazing, super chats and all that kind of stuff. Yes. But just everybody being so involved in the live chat and stuff, it's just a good night. And I had a shit day. And so this was very needed. What's the proof on your Tanyard? All right. Proof on the Tanyard. I got this on secondary. I paid a dumb amount of money for this. I paid $8.50, I think. It's 141.9. So this came out. This has the gift shop tag on it. $8.50 for this freaking thing. All right. All right, we're good on Venmo. Let me go to PayPal. Let me just check everything and make sure I've got all the super chats in. I want to do the giveaway as soon as possible, just to kind of wrap things up. Scott, thank you for the super chat, man. I'm glad I checked. This came into my personal one. All right, Scott, I got you in for one. Let me flip over. Actually, I've got the business Venmo, so let me go to PayPal now. Some people still occasionally send it to my personal PayPal personal Venmo. So, all right, personal Venmo is clear. What is happening? And we have just two in PayPal. Awesome. Greg Smith, got you in for two, man. And then Matt Cochran. Thanks, Matt. In for four. Says, cheers, Cam. Glad to see you're protesting the collection hat and holding out for more money from Adam. Yes, I am, Matt. Thank you for noticing that. All right, we are good. Sean paid $1.99 for Tanyard yesterday. Man, very solid price. I think SRP is $80, but that's like a total pipe dream. Mojo, what's up, dude? Good to see you. Mojo, we have a disagreement. We have a disagreement about Remus Repeal Batch 9. I saw your comment on whatever video that was. Dude, I think Batch 9 is hot trash. I think it tastes like nasty yeast. But I will say this. Mojo's got a great palate. And we've been in the circle of death with each other before. So whatever that means to you, whatever you think that means, that's what it means. And we've been in the circle of death together. We've had our minds blown at the same time by things that have touched our tongues. And so we can disagree on Remus Repeal Batch 9. All right, on to Tanyard Hill. Man, I tell you what, Camp Nelson E. Okay. On to Tanyard Hill. Mojo says it's like syrupy peach cobbler. I wonder if mine's still up here. It is still up here. Man. It's like half popped popcorn. It's like kind of kernely almost. Like kernely yeasty. It's a shock. Man. They did say they were trying to like do something different with that batch. All right. Tanyard Hill, 141.9. You planning to try Remus Gatsby 25? Yeah, if I can get one at cost at SRP, I'll definitely try it. So Tanyard Hill, so this is 141.9. It's really, really hot on the nose. I'm coming off of 128, 130, what is this, 117? Yeah, 117.2 and 131. So I'm coming off of like pretty high proofs. We're up about 10 proof points for the Tanyard. But it's very, very hot. It's like aggressively hot on the nose. Crawling up your nose. The main profile I get out of this, I'm gonna say maybe three things that kind of constitute the bulk of this on the nose. One is similar to Coy Hill Bourbon from 2021, the high proofers. It's like a fudge brownie on fire. So the fudge brownie on fire note that I always associate with Coy Hill is present here. But it's balanced out with like the same kind of gingerbread note that I talked about on this, the old Overholt, but on a different level, like a short barrel level of concentration. So it's gingerbread, it's fudge brownie on fire. It definitely has a bunch of root beer in here, root beer candies. And then, beyond that, it's just really hot. Like, it's impressive, the darkness of the flavors or the aromas on here. And it's impressive how powerfully it comes out of the glass. But it's like very abrasive for me. It's the first sip, and it's gonna light me up. I mean, even coming off this stuff though, it's light me up. And it's good. Like, it's like pleasure and pain, It's like one of those things. But it's a lot. Don't drink it if you have heartburn, especially this proof. 141.9 is, it's a very hot whiskey. I got to do another sip because I think it's going to even out a little bit. Yeah, second sip is easier. More root beer, second sip. Less fudge, more root beer, more gingerbread. But man, like, it's really good. It's not a whiskey I can sit and drink. It's a one and done sip at this proof point. And it could just be this barrel, right? It's 141.9, it's a single barrel. And I like high proof. Like, I've got a sample right here. This is a single barrel that I picked from River Roots. It's 12-year Barton. It's 149 proof. It's estimated to be a 50 bottle shorty. So 12-year, 149 proof. So higher age. It's not a rye, it's a bourbon. Higher proof by a decent bit than this 141. But it doesn't hit me with like the eye-watering thing that this Jack does. It just doesn't do it. And so I think this Jack, that's good. That just tastes like chocolate syrup. But this Jack, I don't know if it's the barrel, I don't know if it's the proof. Jack Daniel's just overall is, it drinks hot because I think it's so forced and so cooked down at younger ages typically. I mean, this is like 9 years old, maybe 10 years old for this Tanyard. Barrel entry, 10/9/15. Yeah, so it's like 10 years old. Just under 10 on the bottling date. I think it's good. I actually think a lower proof is probably going to be better than this. I think a lower proof is going to be better. If you see like a 134 Tanyard, I think that's probably a sweet spot. As opposed to, like, people are going to chase these hazmats. It goes up to 148. That's a flipper's paradise. They're going to charge like $1,500 on secondary for a 148 proof. I don't know. I think 141's too high. I would go for like mid 130s on this. It just drinks hot as shit. It's not a fresh crack. It's not. This has been open for, not a lot's been taken out of it, but it's been open for a bit. Then you go back. I go back to 149 proof Barton, and it smells way more like approachable, which is weird. Add water. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I haven't done this on a stream in a long time. I got to go take a leak real quick. I'll be back in 90 seconds. I'll be back in 90 seconds. Then we'll wrap up, do the giveaway, call it a night. 90 seconds. Ready, go. All right, 90 seconds. Boom. Okay. Hope the new studio has a toilet close. Actually, Terry, we have a bathroom rough-in the basement. We would have to finish the basement to get the bathroom put in. But the idea of the bathroom will at least be close. But no, the nearest bathroom in the new place, yeah, I would have to go upstairs, through the kitchen, living room, to the first floor bathroom by the front door. So it's going to be a little haul if I have to do that. And quick, grab that bottle. Was that a grunt? Take it easy in there. Dude, I don't take a leak on every stream. You just haven't been here in 6 months, like 2 streams ago. Just pee down the tube. Future pee breaks will be 180 seconds. Yeah. All right, back to Tanyard. Let me take another sip of Tanyard. Like, the thing is about Tanyard, I really like the actual notes I'm getting on the nose and on the palate, but it's just too hot. I just want to have it at a level where I could actually sit and drink this whiskey instead of just one sip and then going, I'm tapped out. Ooh. It's a little more manageable as I've kind of tasted some higher proof stuff. But still, the Barton, tasting this a few times, it's still hitting me so intensely. So I just would love to try some other single barrels of this, I think, to find out. Would I pay $8.50 for another bottle of this? Not even a chance, no. I think this whiskey right now where it stands is like, you want to charge like, you know, I walk in somewhere, I see this for $400. I'll buy it. $400. It's a lot of money. And if I find out that the lower proofs are better, then that makes me feel better about that number. $400 for this is, for me, a total stretch for this barrel, but it's just recognizing that some of you guys might want your whiskey to drink this hot. Like, for me, it's just a little too much. All right, someone said water. Ben. $15,000 total bottles of the Tanyard Rye, which is 9K less than than last year's lower proof Coy Hills. Wow. So 15,000 bottles. That's a limited release for sure. Have you had Matt's Coy Hill Rye pick? I don't think so. Is that the one that just came out? Sean, I'll send you a sample of 132.7 Tanyard. Man, I would love to taste that, actually. I would really love to taste that. Like, before I shoot a video, I was talking to Adam about this earlier. It's like, it'd be nice in the video to have, like, 2 other samples. Like a 132 and maybe like a 137 or something to put in the video with this one. And try to speak a little more holistically about the entire release instead of just this one barrel. No, I haven't had that pick from Matt. Maybe I should hit up Ryan and ask if there's any breakage bottles left. What do you think? Is it pretty good? Mike's got a 137. Oh, man. See, I think that would make a better video review for that. So, Camp Nelson E. From a power perspective, Tanyard will beat it, but I would rather drink Camp Nelson E. And then as far as like Camp Nelson E versus Russell's 15 versus Mr. Sam versus GTS 2020, I think the most complete whiskey out of all of them is Camp Nelson E. Russell's 15 does the antique thing better. GTS 2020 does the fruit thing better. Specifically like the red fruit leather thing. And Mr. Sam is just like its own experimental fun thing. So, Sean, if you're serious about it, man, I'll put this here now. And then I'll retype this again for the folks that win the giveaway tonight. But just shoot me an email. I'm happy to pay for shipping or, you know, the cost of the whiskey plus shipping or whatever the case may be. And Mike too. So you and Mike, a 132, a 137, a 141, that seems like a really good spread. So I appreciate it, man. Okay. Anything else before we do this giveaway? I think we hit everything tonight. Yeah, I think we hit everything. Mojo, Cam, I like the 20-year 134 proof Oakley the most. Dude, yeah, that's what won for me in my blind. Just a real quick little sip off the sample bottle. I'm going to review this. I'm going to shoot the video either tomorrow or Saturday. This is the... I can't do it off a sample bottle. Come on. We still have 140 people in here. That's crazy. All right, the smallest little sip. This is that 19-year MGP at 130 proof. Fault line, single barrel number 1. Let's just see. Holy crap. Wow. This MGP. It smells like it's going to be tannic as hell. But it smells like Remus Gatsby from last year. Way oakier, which is crazy. Way more fruit, but it smells like it's going to be tannic. But the proof is 130. Oh my God. What's happening? All right, I can't wait to review that. Wow, that is so good. That is insane. Oh my God. Okay. Cam, I appreciate you no matter what Shook says. He you know, he's said a few things in some recent videos. Matt Claret drinking wheat dreams, not wet dreams. Drinking wet dreams right now. Michael Hill, 9-year 135 drinks less like a nuclear bomb than the Tanyard, but equally as dark. Oh, Matt. I shouldn't have skipped this, dude. I just stopped buying people's single barrels recently because I was like, I'm spending so much money on whiskey, I gotta like dial things back. I've started using like QuickBooks to track all my purchases for the channel, and it's like so irresponsible, man. So I stopped buying people's picks. I should have bought that. I had no idea. I will, I'm going to text Alves. Oh, no, Alves is getting married. I can't text Alves. I'll text him in 2 weeks and be like, you have a breakage bottle? Okay. Let's do tonight's giveaway. I need to just like double check everything. Make sure I didn't miss anybody. And then we're going to wrap up. I mean, we did 2.5 hours, guys. Pretty solid stream. But I feel like I covered a lot of ground. I love doing these streams where I have, sometimes if I have like 4 bottles and then I just start doing blinds and other things, I can get totally ripped. Not that I'm not saturated at this point. I'm at like 70% now. But throughout the stream, I was at a really good level. And I think part of that is having a game plan. I'm just going to go up in proof. 10 bottles I've got. A couple comparisons along the way. More than a couple at this point. But I love doing these streams when I have this many bottles to go through. I think it's a lot of fun. All right, we're good there. Let me double check Venmo. All right, we're good. I've got everybody in to the giveaway now. Okay, good. Was Matt Cochran the last one? Yeah, from PayPal. Good. QuickBooks threw up in its mouth and started reading self-help books when it saw your $750 in. Man, it's like the most. You know what's funny about that whole thing, Matt? Nobody was around to understand that happened except for me and Sarah and like the waiter. And I walked out of there feeling like anybody that looked at me was like, this motherfucker just spent $750 on shitty American Indian fusion cuisine. Like, the meal wasn't even like Indian food. It was like the chef who makes great Indian food doing a spin on like all sorts of different things from his travels, which is a great idea. And then in practice, it was just not happening. So I like walked out of there and felt like people that looked at me, I'm like, I'm ashamed of myself, and you know why I'm ashamed. And they had no idea. You know, it was like a real mental test after that. Austin said, Matt, do you want to come hang out in the post-stream hang? Send Matt the link for the Discord. Let's hang out in voice chat, dude. I bet you falafel about it. Oh, God. All right, let's do this. Let's run this giveaway. Let me pull up a new window here. Wow, thank you guys for the support tonight. We have 193 entries, it looks like. So let me share my screen now. As always, we're going to spin it 7 times. Spin it 7 times. Putting my email in right now. First place gets the free advent calendar for Drums and Drams from Dan H. I'll connect you guys. And also a sample pack of tonight's pours, which only includes like the base stuff. Like, not everything I tasted tonight will be in there. It's in the description of the video. Second place will get a sample pack plus a Stagg Junior Batch 12 sample from Amy. And then the third place winner will just get the sample pack. So 3 different winners. So let me share this and we'll get the show on the road. All right, so here are the names from Matt Cochran at the bottom, all the way up to HubMatt06. There we go, spinning it 7 times. 1, 2, 3. Hang on. 4. Okay. 5. 6, and here comes 7. Top 3, no duplicate winners, and there we go. Ronald Vasquez, Daniel Patterson, and Travis. Let me take a picture of this. Congrats, you guys. Okay, got a photo. First place, Advent and samples. And third place, samples only. Congrats, guys. So, send me your, or here, shoot me an email. It's in the chat right now. drumsanddrams@gmail.com. Let me know that you won tonight and your address. And I probably already have Daniel and Travis's address. And who was the first place winner? Ronald. Yeah, shoot me your address. We'll make it happen. Congrats, guys. Thank you for the support. Seriously. Yeah, I'll probably see you soon. Let me look at my calendar real quick. As far as like public live streams go, it might be next week. It might be the week after. It could be both. But I have both of those Thursdays, 13 and 20 of the month. I have those free. 27th is Thanksgiving Day. We close on our house on the 26th, the day before Thanksgiving. So we might not be doing Thanksgiving with our families. We might just be like getting things over to the house and starting to get things ready for the movers that are going to come the week after and get everything out of here. So definitely one more stream before we move. One more of these Thursday streams, and probably one, if not 2, of those like 20 to 30 minute streams on like a Tuesday or Wednesday night where I do like a blind flight or something. Which whiskey advent would you suggest getting this year? I want to grab one. I have no idea, man. Like, honestly, I have no experience with that stuff. Daniel says, Amy, I have plenty of Junior Batch 12. Send it to the next guy down. Who was, oh, Travis. So we could send it to Travis then. And if Travis has too much of it, then we could send it up to Ron or Ronald. So I'm going to make a note of that right now. All right, guys, that's going to do it for tonight. It's very late. Have a good weekend if I don't talk to some of you, till then. And I'll see you guys in the Discord. Quick shameless plug for the 125 people in here right now. Check out the Drums and Drams Patreon, $5 or $10 a month. It's a pretty low cost of, getting in there and getting access to barrel picks and stuff like that. So, and a great community over in Discord. If you have a Discord account, you connect it to your Patreon. We have really fun Discord going, and yeah, barrel picks, Discord, some exclusive content only to Patreon, And I'm trying to think about some other stuff that I can do, some giveaways over there too, but other stuff that I can do for Patreon that could be like effective. So yeah, cheers guys, have a good night.